keep my remarks brief. Again, thank you, David. I originally declined the opportunity to speak. I'm not usually a great public speaker, but then one of my business partners, a gentleman named Josh, said to me, you do know this has taken up half of your career, and it was either going to sink you or give you something to celebrate someday. So I'm very grateful to be here. I do want to note Buff Chase, Joe Paolino, and actually the Senate President, as well as Josh Miller. We've been on the journey together since day one with David. We are so grateful that Governor McKee's administration is here, because before we would not get it done. So thank you to you. Thank you to Lieutenant Governor Matos, obviously. And the city of Providence has been amazing. I told the mayor before we walked in here, I've told obviously Barney Nickerson, Keith Stokes. It's been amazing to say, look, the city supported, the city will be there, the city will make sure it happens. We just got to pay attention to the initiatives, the affordable housing in particular. So I just want to thank everybody. It's been such an unbelievably long journey with highs and lows. We definitely couldn't have gotten it done without everybody here, and I'm super grateful for everybody's support. Again, the building trades have always been behind us, as well the General Assembly, Council President Igliozzi. I'm repeating everything, but figured after 10 years or 9 years of work, I'd have an opportunity to say thank you to everyone.
Full disclosure, this deal nearly fell apart multiple times in the course of a 6-month-plus negotiation, and Zach Darrow was exemplary, representing his client, but in helping to keep this deal together and getting to the right conclusion. So thank you again. Council President John Igliozzi is next, and very often at a big ceremony like this, you recognize dignitaries and there's an element of courtesy. Council President Igliozzi was right there with Mayor Elorza and myself, committing to getting this done from the earliest conversations, and has been a partner and a cheerleader. We're so grateful. Councilman John Goncalves is also here for your award. We are so proud, Councilman. You happen to be my councilman too, so I have to get that plug in. Council President Igliozzi, thank you so much. Come on up.
Wow, this is unbelievable. First of all, thank you, everybody. Let's hear it for Stephen Pryor, Secretary of Commerce. Unbelievable, right? You know, and also, by the way, Governor and his team, he got it done. Congratulations, Lieutenant Governor. We've had a journey together. Of course, the Speaker and the President, and of course, Mayor Elorza and his team. Can't do it without all you folks. You know, I'm speaking from my heart, from the people of Providence. Zach, I've known all the trades, Mr. Paolino, everybody involved, of course, the building trades, Mike Sabatoni. At the end of the day, all these folks here have one mission, and one mission is to make Providence and the state the best place to live. And I gotta say thank you very much. I also have to acknowledge my council colleagues, because they're going to be in this scrum with me later on, which is, we got the chairwoman of finance, Councilman Joanne Ryan over there, we have Councilman Goncalves, we have Councilman LaFortune, and my other council colleagues down here, I actually see a former Councilman Cliff Wood in the back over there. And all of them, we're all going to put our shoulders into this conversation, because from the beginning, we knew that this is important to all of us. And it is. And I'm really humbled, and I'm really, really honored to be here. And for me personally, because one of the first things I ever did when I came way back when, mostly, I probably don't look as old as these folks, but one of the first thing I ever negotiated was actually the tax treaty for the Providence Place Mall. That was the first thing I negotiated way back when. And today and tomorrow, I'm lucky enough now, and as a bookend of my career, that I'll be negotiating and passing a tax stabilization for the Superman building. And I am so honored that I've been given that privilege and honor to help City of Providence develop where it is today. And we're too grateful for this. It's amazing. It is so amazing. And of course, let's talk about really what's amazing. A true public-private partnership, isn't it? Really is. And Mr. Schweitzer, and of course, Zach. And Mr. Schweitzer I met 9 years ago, 2 administrations ago, 3 councils ago. And I'll tell you something. I want to thank you, by the way, on behalf of my colleagues, people of Providence, and my constituents. Thank you for stepping up. Thank you for believing in Providence. Thank you for thinking of Providence and willing to continue to develop in Providence. Because without you and all these fine folks up here, we wouldn't be here today. So I want to thank you once again. Finally, just to say, I look forward to the ribbon cutting. I look forward to going to Federal Hill and having something over there. Maybe come to Silver Lake sometime also. We got a couple of good restaurants. With that, thank you all. God bless. Congratulations, great day for Providence and Rhode Island. Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Two very important remaining speakers. An exceptional part of this whole financial framework is being offered by the Rhode Island Foundation. Neil Steinberg will tell you about the reasons for his personal commitment and his institutional commitment to this project, but Neil stepped up to finance against the state's Rebuild Rhode Island tax credit and to bring financial value to this transaction in a way that's truly unusual for a foundation. Neil Steinberg, please come on up, and we congratulate and thank you.
Thank you. It's great to be here. Everybody's talked about what an exciting day, what a long journey it's been. This can only happen in Rhode Island. This type of partnership where we can get all of these players together in one place, we can get all of you in the audience in one place, move something forward and celebrate at the same time. You've all heard all the congratulations. I'll double them. The governor and his leadership, Stefan spending 120% of his time on this, David Sweetser and Zach Darrow obviously sticking with it. My observation was what started as negotiations, not always on the same page, now a true partnership, I think, with the state, the lieutenant governor and the governor. Certainly on the city side, we are a city state, the mayor, council president, and everybody else involved. The state leadership that we have that is steadfast, that on behalf of all of us held the line on what financial risk we were willing to take. Senate President and the Speaker, and as everybody's noted, with Mike and his team, all the jobs. The Rhode Island Foundation, as you know, lives downtown. You can see our building from here, the old train station. So we're an anchor there. Every day we would look across and see this other anchor empty. All the plans for Kennedy Plaza, all the vibrancy that used to come out of this building, now on the horizon. Stefan mentioned a personal connection. Some of you know this. 47 years ago, I started my career on the main floor in that building. I worked there when it was Industrial National Bank, excuse me, Fleet National Bank, and Bank of America, and led it there. It has been sad to me to see that iconic building empty. So this is an opportunity to not only have jobs working on it, to have people spilling out. We talked about it yesterday. People coming out, going to stores, going to restaurants, going to events, to move forward with all the different plans that have been proposed for Kennedy Plaza to make that vibrant and go all across the downtown area. So it's very exciting. We think it will add a lot. The foundation, the Rhode Island Foundation, is very pleased to be able to provide financial support for this project. It makes sense, it's prudent on behalf of our stakeholders. And I can't resist saying this. The governor referenced, we were joking about, we were old enough to watch the old TV show. And if any of you ever saw that, many, many years ago, it opened with a line that I hope we can use when we open the building. And it was, look, up in the sky, it's a bird, it's a plane, it's the Superman building. Thank you.
As our finest developers will tell you, Buff Chase and Joe Paolino will tell you, you can't get a complex project like this done without skilled labor. Mike Sabatoni, you represent the building trades beautifully, and you've been an amazing partner. We're proud to be working towards a PLA for this development. Mike Sabatoni.
Well, as most of you know, when you come to events like this, if you see me, that means it's over, because I'm last. And you think as the labor guy I would have negotiated a better seniority clause up until this point, because mostly everything's already been said. But just to echo just a couple of quick things. Governor, Stefan, Dominic, the Speaker, Mayor Lorza, everybody up here. Things don't happen like this by accident. They have to have three components, sometimes four. They have to have business, they have to have labor, they have to have government with vision, and they have to have community buy-in. And when we do that, you look outside at this skyline, good things happen, and good things are going to happen again with the Superman building. The building trades have always been supportive of repurposing this building. I did an interview a few years or so ago, and someone said, well, why don't we just tear it down? And I know I bumped into some people. I said, I liked your quote in that article, and the quote was, if we tore that building down, the city of Providence would look like it was missing a tooth. So we had to fix it. The PLA offers business opportunities for local businesses, minority businesses, but it also offers career paths for minority men and women, most coming from the city of Providence, the capital city, to start their construction career on a significant project such as this, because this will create significant number of jobs across all of the classifications that we represent in the building trades. So in closing, I will promise this: it will be done on time, on budget, and commit to you, Mr. Schweitzer, that this building will be brought back to its magnificence for sure. So with that, I say thank you, and let's get going.
To Alana Cerrone for questions.
Mr. Schweitzer, when did this all come together? I'm sorry? We need you to podium. When did this all come together, and what made it all come together?
It's probably going to be a little more information than you want to hear, but I have actually had a pretty severe cold 3 or 4 days. No worry, I've been tested, everything's okay. I'm lying in bed Sunday night at 10 o'clock, still pretty sick. I get a call from Secretary Pryor, 10 o'clock on a Sunday night. He says, you know, David, I've been reviewing a few things, and I think we're going to be able to help you on this, but a couple of challenges on a couple of other things, and we're going to need some assistance from you on these points. Feeling like heck, I get myself out of bed. I speak with Zach, who himself had his own some issues that he was trying to deal with time management-wise. And I would say probably that night, I would think, is probably the night that I finally said, go back to my previous words, we're going to go to Federal Hill. Because I think Sunday night was probably the first time, more than just my optimism, but I actually thought we were going to get it done. And I would say come yesterday, when we were able to flesh out those points from Sunday night, I knew we were going to get it done.
What were those points?
Yeah, some of the negotiations are probably better to be left, but the conclusions were I had to give some, and frankly, the state or through Secretary Pryor needed to give a few points. But bottom line is I could live with what I was being asked to do. Obviously, the state made that same conclusion about the points they needed to do. Zach was able to be that person in the Secretary's staff to be able to translate between the two decision makers, myself and Secretary Pryor, and we were able to get it done yesterday morning and have it be executed this morning.
Why did it take 9 years to get to that point?
Can you answer that question?
Sure.
Yeah, just because Dave's not feeling well, and as you may know, I've been around for the 9 years. It's just a matter of, I think David mentioned the moment of everything coming together, that perfect moment with the stars aligning, whether it be the need for housing, whether it be the appetite by the state, whether it be the interest rate environment. A lot of things have to come together to make a project like this work, and it just so happened that we're at a time now where all the stars do align and everything is able to come into motion, whether it be the state's participation, the cities, the market, the demand. So it's really just a function of things coming together, and over the years, certain things fell out.
How do you respond to the view from Greg Smiley as expressed on the show, Danny Knows TV show last Sunday, that it was the posture of your firm that was really holding this up?
Yeah, we have no comment in that regard. I mean, you know, by way of example, if you recall, the State Historic Tax Credit Program was terminated when we first started our pursuit. That was a reason way back then, and by no fault of anybody, just the program had sunsetted. So we'll leave it at that. We're very happy to be here.
Well, since 2013, when the building went vacant, you made not an insignificant amount of campaign contributions by every elected official who's here. And
I'm sorry, could you speak just a little louder?
I said since 2013, when the building went vacant, you have made campaign contributions to every elected leader here and their predecessor, Mr. Darrow had two of them, a lot wider range of contributions. Why do you feel like that was something you should do?
Again, I apologize. I still am not hearing you clearly.
Well, I
Sorry.
did. You want me to answer?
Okay, sure.
The question regarding political contributions, David supports candidates that he appreciates, and you reference mine, as do I. No science behind it.
When is work going to begin on the project?
So as the secretary mentioned, when we leave this room, we have to finish some processes, but we're hoping to start demolition in the next 5 to 6 months. During that process, so we can keep moving a quick path, we'll continue the other permitting for, as you know, the redevelopment plans are a different set of plans than the demolition plans. So start hopefully demolition in the next 5 to 6 months, and then when we finalize the permitting process, full construction. Approximately 30 months after commencing development. Yes, it's a very significant task. It's extraordinary. One, because it's an urban setting, type buildings, we can't just throw things out the windows, as you can imagine. Actually, all the windows are also being replaced. But it's a very extensive process. So we anticipate probably another 6 months of demolition work. Good question. We feel pretty confident about it. This is a very, the numbers were trued up and worked on right till the last moment to make sure we weren't impacted by that. It's a natural market, of any real estate development, it's a natural market risk that costs can go up, costs can go down, but we're very confident that we've worked on getting good current numbers and have provided for, the market shifts that could occur.
Sure. Can you actually talk about what the vision is for the lower levels? I know that it's going to be for community retail office space, but can you talk to me about if that's going to be a public way on the first floor? Or
Great question. The vision on that actually is, first off, as you know, with the historic tax credit, federal historic tax credit program, we do have to restore it to its glory, which is amazing. I think all would like to see that happen. So that is going to put some limitations on how and what we can use it for, but it's our intention to integrate some form of community-based program, whether it be event space, as well as take this next time to work on the vision. It will not hold up the project. The project is not stalled until, and actually Commerce did a great job to make sure that work on your vision, but get the rest of it done. So we're going to keep working on developing it, but we definitely are committed to providing some form of community opportunity because it's so beautiful to be like this room and not being able to come into it. So no specific program yet.
And what about those top floors? I'm thinking about the president's office, the old boardroom. Is that going to be at some point a nicer apartment, luxury housing? What would that look like?
Currently slated for units. Currently slated for units.
Mayor Loza mentioned that this was part of the puzzle, like Kennedy Plaza being part of that puzzle. What are the pieces of this puzzle are there, and what do we expect in the future on this?
So, I mean, this is complex on so many levels. Just pulling the deal together was complicated. So that's one puzzle aspect to it. The other is that Providence downtown is transitioning from, mostly commercial space to more and more residential space. So along with that come all of now it's a residential neighborhood, comes all of the amenities that neighborhoods have. The shops and restaurants, the bars, the nightlife, the active sidewalks, both during the day and during the evening, as well as the public space that people want to enjoy. And Kennedy Plaza is literally the front door, it's the front doorstep of the Superman building. And we want to make sure that you travel across the country and you see, cities that you fall in love with. They all have this, this magnificent public space that brings everyone together. We don't have that in Providence. We have never had that, a place where, regardless of where you live, everyone feels connected to. But that's the potential that Kennedy Plaza has, and it just works so well. As this project gets developed, the various phases of developing Kennedy Plaza also gets developed as well.
So the other things that we'll be seeing in the future here, like other development?
Yeah, so we've laid out our vision for Kennedy Plaza. Bear in mind there's also a $30 million food hall that's being constructed as we speak, right on the perimeter of Kennedy Plaza. And what we want to have is a dozen or so amenities. So whether you're a young person, elder person, there's a draw and there's something for you at Kennedy Plaza. And I'm sure that, as this building, it gets built out and populated, the folks that are there are going to be a big part of it as well. So this is really something that brings the entire community together. And, I'll only be here for another 9 months. Whoever the next administration is in the city, they'll, add their own flavor and, their own fingerprint to it. But there's nothing but possibilities here.
Mr. Sweezer? Mr. Sweezer, you run a sophisticated, some would say
you've had significant access to capital markets. So my question is a two-part. Number one, why would you take $5 million, say, as just part of it, from the city of Providence, which clearly has financial issues, right? And number two, isn't this really a corporate welfare bailout of failed investment?
Sure.
Listen, I can understand the perspectives, they differ. At the end of the day, if you remember, the Rebuild Rhode Island program was established as what they refer to as a gap-filling program, as are all these support mechanisms that have come together. At some point, projects don't make economic sense to be done at all, right? And you don't, sometimes buildings get torn down. If you recall, right behind the Turkshead building, there was a building knocked down years ago, beautiful, historic, iconic, and people wanted to be restored, but it just didn't make sense. So the decision has been made by a community together to say, we want to restore this property. We understand, fully vetted. The state can tell you at any point in time, they brought in multiple professionals to say, can this be done? And if not, what's the gap? That's the premise of the Rebuild Rhode Island program and the various city programs. And when looked at, the negotiation that Secretary Pryor referred to was us getting down to that last dollar. So it would not be accurate or even anywhere near accurate to say that it was corporate welfare, but instead, a community, public-private partnership decision to preserve an iconic structure and provide for the community as a whole.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Where's the community? These are the usual suspects. Where is the actual community involvement? Then, thousands of Rhode Islanders have been waiting on 38 studios. They talk about stadiums. Have voiced vocal opposition to just this very type of check being written to private developers for their own private property. That's a problem.
Again, the programs that were referred to were the tools that were provided, and it's through the elected officials is the answer to your question.
Thank you all. Thank you. I would hug you.